Shalom, welcome to Tactically Torah. I am Heath Hayes. Today is day 77 of Read the Bible in a Year. We are wrapping up the book of Joshua with chapters 23 and 24. So let's just go ahead and get started. Chapter 23. And it came to be, a long time after Yahweh had given rest to Israel from all their enemies round about, that Joshua was old, advanced in years. And Joshua called for all Israel, and for their elders, and their heads, and their judges, and for their officers, and said to them, I am old, advanced in years. Sorry, it's just the little details. It's like it provides a description. Hey, this is what's going on. They're old and advanced in years. And then it's like, it's exactly what he's saying too. Hey, I'm old, advanced in years. I find humor in that stuff. It's weird. Anyways, verse 3. And you have seen all that Yahweh your Elohim has done to all these nations because of you. For Yahweh your Elohim, he who is fighting for you. See, I have divided to you by lot these nations that remain to be an inheritance for your tribes from the Jordan, with all the nations that I have cut off as far as the great sea toward the setting of the sun. And Yahweh your Elohim thrust them out before you, and you shall drive them out from before you, and you shall possess their land as Yahweh your Elohim has promised you. And you shall be very strong to guard to do all that is written. Not just strong, very strong. To guard to do all that is written in the book of the Torah of Moshe, so as not to turn aside from it, right or left. So as not to go in among these nations, these who remain among you, and make no mention of the name of their mighty ones, nor swear by them, nor serve them, nor bow down to them, but cling to Yahweh your Elohim, as you have done to this day. For Yahweh has driven out from before you great and strong nations. As for you, no one has stood against you to this day. One man of you put 1,000 to flight. For Yahweh your Elohim is he who is fighting for you, as he has promised. And you shall diligently guard yourselves to love Yahweh your Elohim. But if you do turn back at all, and cling to the remnant of these nations, these that remain among you, and intermarry with them, and go into them, and they to you, know for certain that Yahweh your Elohim shall no longer drive these nations out from before you, and they shall be snares and traps to you, and a whip in your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until you perish from this good land which Yahweh your Elohim has given you. And see, this day I am going the way of all the earth, and you know in all your hearts and in all your beings that not one word has failed of all the good words which Yahweh your Elohim spoke concerning you. All of it has come to you, and not one word of them has failed. And it shall be that as every good word has come upon you, which Yahweh your Elohim promised you, so Yahweh does bring upon you every evil word, until he has destroyed you from the land which is destroyed you from this good land which Yahweh your Elohim has given you. When you transgress the covenant of Yahweh your Elohim, which he commanded you, and shall go and serve other mighty ones, and bow down to them, and the displeasure of Yahweh shall burn against you, and you shall perish quickly from the good land which he has given you. Chapter 24. And Joshua gathered all the tribes of the children of Israel to Shechem, and called for the elders of Israel, and for their heads, and for their judges, and for their officers, and they presented themselves before Elohim. And Joshua said to all the people, Thus said Yahweh Elohim of Israel, long ago your fathers dwelt beyond the river, Terah, the father of Abraham and the father of Nahor, and they served other mighty ones. So I took your father Abraham from beyond the river, and caused them to go through all the land of Canaan, and multiplied his offspring, and gave him Isaac. And to Isaac I gave Jacob and Esau, and to Esau I gave mountains of Seir to possess, but Jacob and his children went down to Mitzrayim. And I sent Moshe and Aaron, and plagued Mitzrayim as I did in their midst, and afterward I brought you out. And I brought your fathers out of Mitzrayim, and you came to the sea, and the Mitzrites pursued your fathers with chariots and horsemen to the Sea of Reeds, and they cried out to Yahweh, and he put thick darkness between you and the Mitzrites, and brought the sea upon them, and covered them, and your eyes saw what I did in Mitzrayim. And you dwelt in the wilderness a long time, and I brought you into the land of the Amorites who dwelled beyond the Jordan, and they fought with you. But I gave them into your hand, and you possessed their land, and I destroyed them from before you. And Balak, son of Zippor, sovereign of Moab, rose up and fought against Israel, and sent and called for Balaam, son of Beor, to curse you. But I refused to listen to Balaam. So he continued to bless you, and I delivered you out of his hand. And you passed over the Jordan, and came to Jericho. The masters of Jericho, the Amorite and the Perizzite and the Canaanite and the Hivite and the Hittite and the Girgashite and the Jebusite fought against you, but I gave them into your hand. And I sent the hornet before you, which drove them out from before you, also 2 sovereigns of the Amorites, but not with your sword or with your bow. But I gave you a land for which you did not labor, the cities which you did not build, and you dwell in them, and you eat of the vineyards and olive trees which you did not plant. And now fear Yahweh, serve him in perfection and in truth, and put away the mighty ones which your fathers served beyond the river and in Mitzrayim, and serve Yahweh. And if it seems evil in your eyes to serve Yahweh, choose for yourselves this day whom you are going to serve, whether the mighty ones which your fathers served that were beyond the river, or the mighty ones of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But I and my house, we serve Yahweh. And the people answered and said, Far be it from us to forsake Yahweh to serve other mighty ones, for Yahweh our Elohim is he who has brought us and our fathers up out of the land of Mitzrayim from the house of bondage, who did those great signs before our eyes, and has guarded us in all the way that we went, and among the people through whom we passed. And Yahweh drove out from before us all the people, even the Amorites who dwell in the land. We too serve Yahweh, for he is our Elohim. Then Joshua said to the people, You are not able to serve Yahweh, for he is a set-apart Elohim, a jealous El is he. He does not bear with your transgression and with your sins. If you forsake Yahweh, and shall serve mighty ones of a foreigner, then he shall turn back and do you evil and consume you after he has been good to you. And the people said to Joshua, No, but we do serve Yahweh. Then Joshua said to the people, You are witnesses against yourself that you have chosen Yahweh for yourselves to serve him. And they said, Witnesses. And now put away the mighty ones of the foreigner which are in your midst, and incline your heart to Yahweh Elohim of Israel. And the people said to Joshua, Yahweh our Elohim we serve, and his voice we obey. And Joshua made a covenant with the people that day, and laid on them a law and a right ruling in Shechem. Then Joshua wrote these words in the book of the Torah of Elohim, and he took a large stone and set it up there under the oak that was by the set-apart place of Yahweh. And Joshua said to all the people, "See, this stone is a witness to us, for it has heard all the words of Yahweh which he spoke to us, and it shall be a witness against you, lest you lie against your Elohim." Then Joshua sent the people away, each to his own inheritance. And after these events, it came to be that Joshua, son of Nun, the servant of Yahweh, died 110 years old. And they buried him within the border of his inheritance at Timnath Serah, which is in the mountains of Ephraim, on the north side of Mount Gaash. And Israel served Yahweh all the days of Joshua, and all the days of the elders who outlived Joshua, who had known all the works of Yahweh which he had done for Israel. And the bones of Joseph, which the children of Israel had brought up out of Mitzrayim, they buried at Shechem, in the plot of ground which Jacob had bought from the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for 100 Kesida, and which had become an inheritance of the children of Joseph. And Eleazar, son of Aaron, died, and they buried him in a hill that belonged to Phinehas his son, which was given to him in the hill country of Ephraim. All right, that's the book of Joshua, and tomorrow we begin Judges. Shalom.